Welcome to the Dakota Dynasty. Today we're on the road at Reser Stadium to take on Oregon State. In week 1 we faced off against North Dakota. We were down 24-10, but it was Toby Cota who really shifted the momentum of the game with a blocked field goal. Our running game started to pick up after that. J.R. Miller punched in a touchdown from 8 yards out, and that began our comeback. With 6 minutes left, it was 4th down and goal. It was an important play, and Deon Gobert got his second touchdown. Then 16 seconds left, down by 3. It was a tight window, and Deontay Knox was able to come over the catch, and we came back and won our first game of the season and our first game as an FBS program actually. Oregon State was victorious in week 1, 35-0 against FCS competition. It's competition similar to us, so we'll have to see how we play. Rakeem Hood and Sylvia Widenar were both impact players with making multiple plays in the backfield in week 1. But we'll get underway here today. Here's Hodgins, and he's got it on a big first play for 23 yards on the play action. I formation, here's Jamar Jefferson. He played a secondary role in their week 1 game. Their other running back had over 100 yards but was injured in that game, so we'll see what he's able to do. He's a very talented running back. A little bit of a messed up play there, and it'll end up going for 6 yards though. So it'll be 3rd down and 3, offset formation. Luton on the play action, throws outside. He's got his tight end, Togai, and it's a 24-yard touchdown. Oregon State gets on the board quickly. Took them 1 minute and 3 seconds for the first points of the day. We have a studio update. Number 3 Oklahoma loses to West Virginia. That's something to ever keep an eye on in the national picture. There's Jalen Moore and David Morris for this Oregon State defense. They're a good group, and it's going to be a tough day for us on offense if we can't get a running game going. On 3rd down and 10, it was J.R. Miller off target, and it will be a 3-and-out for our offense. Under center, Luton will dump it down. He's got his tight end once more, and that's a gain of 6 yards. Now 2nd down and for a bunch set from under center. Luton with a short drop. He throws. He's got his tight end again. Last week it was the running game we struggled to stop. This week so far it's been the passing game, especially defending this talented tight end. Luton with all day to throw. He finally goes downfield. He's got Bradford. He gets it down inside the 5-yard line. And it'll be 1st down and goal from the 1. Quick throw. It's the tight end, Noah, again. And it's quick. 14 points for Oregon State. Has taken them less than 3 minutes to get them. Trenton Klemper in the backfield. J.R. Miller will keep it and falls forward, picks up 6 or 7 yards. That'll be 3rd down and manageable. See if our offense can move the chains. Here's Jalen Page. Nice running room on the option as he picks up 9 yards. Our offense needs to play well, needs to do a good job of taking care of the football. They didn't do that last week with 3 turnovers, but there's a big play. It was Deon Gobert on the post as he picks up 27 yards. He was the star offensive player with 2 touchdowns last week. Fake the screen outside, and no one's open. Great coverage from Oregon State as the pass will just fall incomplete. 3rd down and 10, setting up the screen pass. Pierce Libby catches it, and nowhere to go. Great pursuit from this Beavers defense. It'll be 4th down and 11. Malachi Peterson on. It's a long field goal attempt, and it is way short, and we won't come away with any points on that good offensive drive. Now it's Lindsey on a sweep outside. Rakeem Hood can't bring him down. DeJeanne misses, and he's into the open field. He's to the 20, to the 10. Widenar in pursuit, and no one's going to get him. Tyjon Lindsey, the transfer, takes it in for a long rushing touchdown. And it's now 21-0. Our defense has not been able to handle this Oregon State offense so far. A quick bubble screen, though, to Deon Gobert goes for 5 yards. 3rd down and 5, short drop for Miller from the shotgun, and Nate Went. He struggled with catching the ball last week, and there's another drop, but it was forced out by the defensive back. Now Oregon State back on offense once again. They have a chance to extend this lead once again. Quickly into Coyote territory, it's Ross Bukowski on the tackle. 2nd down and 7, Luton will throw outside. Once again, it's Isaiah Hodgins. This passing attack is deadly so far. I expected a little more of a rushing attack, but they're just letting Luton air it out. He is a good quarterback. He's a big body too. You can see there he's powerful as he gets his way inside of the 5-yard line. And Oregon State is knocking on the door once again. From the shotgun this time, tight window. It's caught once again. Another passing touchdown. Already 3 on the day for Luton as he has 3 touchdowns, a 10 for 10 start. You can see nearly 200 more yards of offense for Oregon State on only 1 more play. Page with nowhere to go, great penetration by the defense. It's a loss of 3. We're into the second quarter. Not a good first quarter for this Coyote team, and trying to get the ball away, Jared Miller is unable to. He's 3 for 8 for 31 yards. Kenny Matson, the lefty punter, is on to kick it away. It's Wilson on the return. He'll go straight up the middle and a good 17-yard return as that sets up Oregon State in very favorable field position. Short drop, quick throw. It's the tight end once again, and Bukowski on the tackle. It was a gain of 7. 3 wide. Luton will keep it. He breaks it outside. He's got blockers downfield, and he's going to take this one out. Another touchdown for Oregon State. It's already 35-0. Last week, like I said, they won 35-0 against FCS competition. It took them just over a quarter to get that on us. There's a good run, though, for Jalen Page as he picks up 11 yards. Page still in the game with trips to the right as we'll spread the field. Page up the middle. There's another good run. Last week our running game took a little time to get going. Really took some time to wear down that North Dakota defense. Maybe that's what we're starting to do to this Beaver defense as there's a 10-yard gain for Jalen Page. Spreading the field with 4 wide receivers. Jared Miller throws outside. He's got Deion Gilbert, and that'll bring up a very manageable 3rd down. 3rd down and 4. Miller drops back. He dumps it down. He's got Delvonte Bell. He makes a move and has it to the 30-yard line. A 12-yard gain for the 6'4" receiver out of Minnesota. And now it's Trenton Klemper up the middle. The junior running back picks up 5 yards. 4 wide once again. Really trying to spread the field. Here's Nate Wendy. Hangs onto that football, but is just shy of the 1st down marker. We have decision make, and the offense does stay on the field. 4th down and 1, and Klemper is able to get the 1st down. 2 carries for 8 yards for him so far today. 4 wide as Jalen Page checks back into the game. Miller steps up, and he's hit and loses the football. It's another Hodgins, this time on defense, making the play, and it'll be a turnover in the red zone for this South Dakota team. Looked like we had a chance to get some points on the board. Instead, it'll be Isaiah Hodgins breaking 2 tackles on a big gain, as their passing attack has been lethal, 159 yards through the air already. Luton throws outside. He's got Irish. He breaks 1 tackle, and it is Jax Montgomery, the redshirt junior corner, on the tackle. Now setting up the screen pass. Here's Jefferson, and it's Shiketti who can't bring him down, and Jefferson's into the open field. He's got room to run and is brought down to the 1-yard line. Once again, Bukowski with a big tackle in the open field. 1st and goal, and there's Luton's first incomplete pass. Just a miscommunication as he throws over the intended receiver's head. Now it's Jefferson. He stiff arms the defender, and it is 42 points now for Oregon State in this first half. And we may just want to go into halftime, regroup, and see if our defense can play better, and our offense as well. No points in the first half from them. Good run from J.R. Miller, and it'll be 4th down and 3. Nothing doing on this drive. Not a lot of first downs really in this first half, as we will head into halftime down by 42 points. A big deficit, not necessarily what I was expecting, but it's not unexpected. Oregon State's a good Pac-12 team. They've been improving in recent years, and this is only our 2nd game in the FBS. But our defense has not been able to put up any sort of a fight or any sort of contention to this Oregon State offense. Over 350 yards of offense. Our offense only has 105 yards, and we've held the ball for 9 more minutes. A lot of quick scoring drives for Oregon State. There's Jared Miller, though. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Klemper in the backfield. A good run here as he picks up the 1st down on a gain of 4. Klemper getting more involved this week. The Mitchell, South Dakota native has some talent. He's undersized at only 5'7". Nice pitch. There was a late pitch to Pierce Libby, and it'll be a good gain as this is a promising drive currently. Page checks back in, really rotating these 3 running backs, and the pitch goes to Page. He fights forward and falls forward as he's able to pick up 7 yards. Page will stay in the game, but Miller will keep it. He breaks 1 tackle and gets the 1st down. just barely as he picks up 4 yards, but it will move the chains nonetheless. J.R. Miller drops back, tries to throw it, and just barely not enough time, as it's a loss of 7 on the sack, and Ethan Smith will come in. Looks like J.R. Miller was shaken up on that last play. That's something to keep an eye on. Smith is more of a runner. He's a similar athlete to J.R. Miller, but has a little bit more elusiveness and is a poor passer. You can see there, not enough on that throw. It'll be Kenny Matson on to punt it away. That drive went nowhere once Miller went out of the game, but a good punt by Matson as the redshirt junior from South Dakota pins it inside of the 10-yard line. Here's Jefferson outside, one broken tackle, and it is Widenar who does bring him down, but it's a 9-yard gain. Now a split backfield, play action, quick throw to Madison in the flat. He breaks a tackle and is brought down by Xavier Warren, but picks up 12 yards. You can see mild concussion for J.R. Miller, so he won't return today. Gives us a chance to look at Ethan Smith and maybe some of the other quarterbacks on the roster and see what they're able to do for us. Jefferson sort of stumbles there in the backfield, made contact with an offensive lineman and picks up 4 yards. Now Luton with the deep drop, he'll throw outside to Lindsey, and Lindsey breaks one tackle, but it's Rakeem Hood. We're not really getting those negative plays that we were able to get last week. Rakeem Hood and Sylvia not really making the plays in the backfield. Now it's Bradford on the post. He picks up a big gain of 20 yards, and they have the ball in South Dakota territory once again. Luckily, we've nearly gone this whole third quarter without Oregon State being able to put up any points. Toby Cota brings him down, but Luton is able to pick up the first. 23 seconds left in the third quarter. Dumped down to Lindsey and just barely picks up the first down. This is an explosive Oregon State offense. Definitely someone to keep an eye on looking at how they're playing today in the Pac-12. But there's another touchdown for Luton. His 4th of the day, 21 for 22, 282, and 4 touchdowns. A career day for the former Idaho player. Now it's DeGene. He had a couple of big kick returns. That was the story of the first half in week 1. And there's a good return for 40 yards. You can see 42 plays, 140 yards for us, 9 first downs. That's not that bad. Just when we've been able to get into Oregon State territory, for different reasons, the drives have stalled out. Ethan Smith gets a chance to start this drive, and he's sacked and loses 8 yards. And this is not the position that you want to put him in. He has a very weak arm. And we'll try and address that by going with a screen pass, and Jalen Page picks up maybe around 4 yards. But we'll be forced to punt the ball once again. 6 minutes and 30 seconds at this point, just trying to get out of here without any sort of injuries or anything like that. Maybe see a little bit of flashes in this last quarter. We do see some of the backups into the game now, as there's Javon Miller. He is a sophomore right end, and he's a talented player, and I'm excited to see him play some. But Luton will go straight up the middle, uncontested, no one touches him. He goes 52 yards on the quarterback designed run. Now we'll see Ezekiel Wood. He's a redshirt freshman just like J.R. Miller, as he completes his first career pass for 2 yards. Wood will drop back and doesn't have time. Pressure all day for this Oregon State team, as it's now 3rd down and 2 for Oregon State as they take back over. There we go. There's a sack. It's Leon Kern, the backup left end. He's a junior from California, only player actually on the roster from California. Good to see him making an impact, in some of these backup defenders really showcasing themselves. We have the backup offensive players in now, as here is Richie Campbell. He's our punt returner and number 5 receiver who takes the jet sweep. Wood will drop back, throws outside, and misses Mike Algrim. He's 2 for 4 for 3 yards. He's another guy, doesn't really have a great arm. J.R. Miller really gives us our best chance. And a incompletion, a drop, making his best Nate Wint impression. That was Mike Algrim on the drop. 4th down and 9, nothing to lose by going for it. And another drop, probably wouldn't have got the first down anyways, but Pierce Libby can't come away with it. 2 minutes left. Starters still in for Oregon State for some reason. Definitely surprising maybe just trying to get some more practice for these guys moving forward, as they'll probably enter Pac-12 play pretty soon. Terrell Rice can't bring him down, and Jamar Jefferson is into the open field. He's going to score from 44 yards out. Just a sad performance from this Coyote team, as we'll maybe have one more offensive drive. Ezekiel Wood had Brock Peterson wide open down the seam, but just misses him. That would have been a big play. Now Wood will chuck it downfield, and that goes over the head of Dion Gilbert. Gilbert gave up on the route a little early. Definitely not the play you want to see, but 4th down and 9, and more pressure. Oregon State has been able to get to the quarterback all day, and that will do it for today's ball game. Near over 400 yards of total offense for Jake Luton, a number of touchdowns. He was very impressive. Their receivers, all their skill position players looked very good. Hard to know how much that is their talent versus our talent just allowing them to shine. But they had explosive plays all day. Our offense couldn't do anything. They had a few solid drives that just ended for various reasons. Turnovers, sacks, a number of different reasons. And our defense just was unable to stop them all day. Definitely a disappointing game. But like I said earlier, not necessarily unexpected. We weren't really expecting this to be a game where we have a ton of great plays. Now, we'll have to move forward, and hopefully this game won't affect us, but you'll see in just a little bit who our next opponent will be, and it's not going to get any easier. So we look at some of the stats today. Jared Miller, 7 for 13, 55 yards. None of the backups were any better. Ezekiel Wood looks especially bad, 2 for 8 for 3 yards. We were sacked a number of times, really couldn't do much. Pierce Libby averaged 5.8 yards per carry. May need to see about getting him more touches moving forward. A number of different receivers caught a ball. A number of different receivers dropped a ball as well. Bukowski leads us with 8 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. Both the backup right and left end were the guys who got that. Luton, 22 for 24, 279 and 4 touchdowns. Adds 2 touchdowns and 123 yards on the ground. And an outstanding performance, nearly 600 yards of total offense for Oregon State. And like I said, it's not going to get any easier. We traveled to Norman, Oklahoma. They've been known for their offenses, especially under Lincoln Riley. They have the Alabama transfer quarterback Jalen Hurts. Did lose their first game, though, to West Virginia. So they're 1-1 on the season. Hurts with 2 interceptions. Definitely surprising. You can see it was 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns that really allowed West Virginia to get that win, and Oklahoma will be without their starting left guard. We're going to have to deal with CeeDee Lamb and Kenneth Murray, Jalen Hurts, Trey Sermon, Kennedy Brooks, a lot of offensive talent for this Oklahoma team. It's going to be difficult if we struggle this much with Oregon State's offense. I don't know how we're going to deal with Oklahoma's, who has a lot more skill position player talent and better talent at quarterback as well. Number of sacks allowed so far. Running game, Pierce Libby 6.3 yards per carry so far this year. Trenton Klemper 5.4. Both outshining Jalen Page to this point. Dion Gilbert been our best receiver. 8 catches, 86 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Bukowski with 4 more tackles than anyone else. Sylvia Widenar and Rakeem Hood, neither of them had any tackles for loss this week after a very strong week 1 performance, and still only have the 1 turnover on the season. An update on our recruiting board. We're in a couple of tight battles, though that we really have the advantage on. Eric Sikowski. Phoenix McDonald is a guy I really like. He's underrated. He's definitely not the top guy on this board, but I think he would add some nice speed to our offense, and it's just one of the underrated guys that I want to talk about on our board currently. You can see North Dakota State upsets UNC, so their first season in FBS is looking good. South Dakota State does lose their first game by 10 to Ohio. But I hope you did enjoy today's video. If you did, please leave a like down below. Leave your comments on the game down below. What do you think? Were there any players today who really stood out to you that need more playing time? But I will see you next time as we do head to Norman, Oklahoma for our 3rd game on the season. Have a great rest of your day.